Got about 30 seconds, Madam President.
Do it.
Isn't there a beach at the pond, or used to be? We could go
You're
there.
still in the same zip code.
Right.
All right, gang, if you could all mute yourselves, then we will start. I'm gonna hit the record button momentarily. Thank you.
This meeting is being recorded.
Good evening. Welcome to the Easthampton City Council meeting for Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. The meeting tonight is being recorded and broadcast live via Easthampton Media on Charter Channel 193 and live streamed on Easthampton Media's YouTube channel. As always, Executive Director Jen Ramsey and her team do a phenomenal job, and we thank them for bringing these meetings to you. All counselors and participants in this meeting are gathered remotely during the COVID-19 pandemic under an executive order by Governor Baker on March 12th, 2020, allowing us to do so. I remind both members of the City Council and of the public to remain on mute until recognized by the chair. Also, for members of the public, please remove your camera for the duration of the meeting unless you are participating in public speak. Thank you, and the meeting will now be called to order. Barbara.
Peg Coniff.
Here.
Salem Derby.
Present.
Erica Flood.
Present.
Omar Gomez. Nope. JP Kaczynski.
Here.
Tom Peak.
Here.
Dan Rist.
Here.
And Lindsay Rothschild.
Here.
And Owen Zara.
Present.
If we could now please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of
of
the United States of America and to the republic
for
which it
which it
stands,
stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes of May 19th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the minutes of May 19th. Any discussion? Barbara.
Oh, sorry.
You're up.
Yep. Peg Coniff.
Yes.
Salem Derby.
Aye.
Erica Flood.
Aye.
Omar's still not here. Okay. JP Kaczynski.
Abstain?
Tom Peak.
Aye.
Lindsay, Dan Rist.
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild.
Hi.
Owen Zara.
Yes.
Motion passes. Now we have that portion of the meeting where we have public speak. And for those who would like to participate in public speak on any topic other than what is in the public hearings, please remember that the City Council may only listen, but we cannot respond to your comments. We ask that you remain respectful and direct your comments only to the City Council. If you would like to speak at this time, please select raise hand under the reactions option in Zoom. And please remain on mute and keep your camera turned off until you are called upon. And before you comment, please state your name and, for the record, your address and or precinct. You will have 3 minutes for your comments. We do have a public hearing at 6:15, so should public speak go long, we will be pausing it until the public hearing is over, and then we will resume at that time. So right now I see Carolyn Cushing, who has her hand up. Go ahead, Carolyn.
This is just a process, a request to review. This is public speak for anything that's not in the hearing, but the budget is part of the public hearing. So if anyone is talking about the budget, they can just wait for that.
Yes.
Can I ask that question? Okay, great. We had some questions. So thank you for answering my question. I will wait. People will wait speaking about the budget.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Anyone else? Okay, it appears that the budget is a hot topic this evening. All right. If we don't have anyone else who is interested in public speak, and we have a few minutes, I will defer to communication from elected officials, boards, and committees. Anyone who would like to make any comments? It's going to be a snappy meeting.
I would
Okay.
like, sorry, Madam President,
Yes.
if I could, quick comment. Actually, I just would like to take this opportunity to wish relatives of mine a very happy 58th wedding anniversary. Both residents, longtime residents of Easthampton, Robert and Terry Peria, happy 58 years. I think it's an amazing feat, and I just wanted to recognize them on this occasion.
Great. Thank you. Councilor Zaret.
Thank you, President Coniff. Just quickly, as we know, it's Pride Month. Thank you to the city for raising the Pride flag for the third year in a row and third time ever in the city. Great to see it flying over the city for this month. And also remember that June is also Gun Violence Awareness Month, so almost two desperate or disparate issues. And proud of the city council for affirming and reaffirming a petition against gun violence. June 4th is Gun Violence Awareness Day. As there's been a rash of shootings recently, mass shootings, just something to focus on and how we can try to avoid these types of things in the future and support legislation for sensible gun laws. And the city cleanup went great. Thank you to so many departments and people who came out, police, fire, DPW, parks, a variety of committees. And thank you, of course, to the people of Easthampton who volunteered, and hopefully we'll be doing more of that soon. Thanks, President.
Okay. Anyone else for communication from elected officials, boards, and committees? All right, Julie, you have your hand up. We have concluded public speak. Are you here to speak on any topic, or are you here to speak on something that's part of the public hearing? Wherever Julie went.
Hi, I just was delayed a little bit. I just wanted to actually just to thank Chief Alberti and the police officers of Easthampton for hanging up the veterans flags for us for Memorial Day. It's, you know, they went above and beyond during awful weather to do that, and it was greatly appreciated. I know my family members are hanging up on that flagpole, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, back to any other city councilors. Anyone, hang on, Owen. Is there anybody else who would like to speak? Okay, go ahead, Owen.
President, I think there might be some members of the public here who misunderstood our process and wanted to speak on a new business topic, but thought they had to wait till the end of the meeting, and I think may have wanted to speak to it during public speak. So,
go ahead and raise your hand if anyone would like to. We'll amend our normal process if there's somebody from the public who would like to speak now. Okay, Mishu, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, Mishu Oliveira is my name.
Yes, go ahead, Mishu.
Okay, thank you very much. I'd like to speak on behalf of the decriminalization of therapeutic psychedelic plants and my testimony of why I feel that's important. And basically, in short, I have a long-standing history of a lot of physical and mental abuse due to the fact that I'm a very proud female and a very masculine body. I chose to drink copious amounts of alcohol, smoke cigarettes since I was 13 years old. I took a basically 7-month experiment with psychedelic mushrooms in 2018 and ceased my nicotine addiction and consumptive and excessive alcohol consumption within 7 months of a monthly 3.5 gram dose of psychedelic mushrooms. I'm now treating people who come to me for the same type of benefit for their lives through also help with their depression, anxiety, PTSD. These plants have shown myself and also people who come to me for help that they benefit their lives. So I'm here to advocate for the decriminalization of those therapeutic psychedelic plants. So.
Thank you, Mishu. I apologize for not extending public speak a little bit farther. So apparently there are people who are who have something to speak to other than the public hearing. So go ahead and raise your hands if you have something you'd like to say. Shelby.
Hi, Shelby, and Shelby Lee, and I'm in precinct 4. And we're just in support of the resolution to decriminalize therapeutic psychedelic plants. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. Don't think I'm seeing anyone. Okay.
Steve,
You're muted, Counselor Rist.
Stephen and Bryla had raised his hand. He didn't.
Okay.
Go
I
ahead.
can hardly see you. There's no light.
Yeah,
so
I know,
didn't see
sorry,
you.
let's
Sorry. Go
see.
ahead, Stephen.
Oop. Here, I'm actually here with Amber, who is a local resident who I got this set up for. We're here to speak on the on behalf of the decriminalize effort going on in Easthampton as well.
Okay,
So I don't
go
know
ahead.
if that's our time to speak right now.
Yes, go ahead.
So Amber, just go ahead and say how it's helped you and that you don't think it should be.
I am in favor of the decriminalization of plant medicine for medicinal purposes for the health and well-being of our community.
And just say where you live.
I live in Easthampton, Massachusetts.
On what street?
On Union Street.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone? So I also want to, for those people who are talking and speaking to that, we will have more meetings on specifically that topic. Tonight, we're not voting on it. We're just moving it to a committee. So you will have more opportunity to speak to the resolution for the psychedelic drug plants. Sorry, you'll have that option also. So I don't want anybody here to think this was their only chance to say anything. You'll have more opportunities. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Anybody else see any hands? Because I can't see everything. I can only see when they use the raise your hand feature. So if somebody sees somebody who's jumping up and down and waving their hands, let me know. Because
I do not, Madam President.
Okay. All right. Okay. Where are we? One more. So does anybody have any correspondence, or Councilor Rist, do you have anything from a vice president perspective?
I do not, Madam President.
Nor do I. I'm going to suggest that we start the public hearing before we go into the mayoral communication, if that's all right with you, Councilor Rist.
It is.
All right, I'll take a motion to open the public hearings.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second to open the public hearings. Barbara.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
is Omar here?
Yes,
Is
Aye.
Omar coming or not?
He's here.
I'm here.
Okay, sorry. JP Kaczynski,
Yes.
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Owen Zaret.
Yes.
Did I get to vote?
Oh, sorry, Peg Coniff.
I'm also aye.
Oh,
Therefore,
man.
the public hearings are now open. Councilor Rist.
How do you do? I'm here tonight to discuss 3 supplemental appropriations and the budget. The 3 supplemental appropriations are pretty much what we do at the end of the year to catch up on deficits. The first one is Personnel Department request for $19,701 for workman's comp to catch up there. We just have fourth quarter payments we have to make to the workman's comp account, and we didn't have enough money. So we're doing that, and it's being funded by free cash. I noticed that Emily Russo's here if anybody has questions for her, but the Finance Committee approved this 3-0.
Does anybody have any questions on the council? Does anybody from the public have any questions about this particular supplemental appropriation? Not seeing any, we will take a motion to approve.
I move that the full City Council approve the following appropriations for workman's comp. The amount requested is $19,701 to be transferred from free cash, $19,701 to be transferred to the workman's comp account, $19,701 for the purpose for workman's comp employee coverage for the fourth quarter payment remainder, unanticipated expense in FY21 budgeting.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the supplemental appropriation. Any further discussion? Barbara?
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby.
Aye.
Motion passes. Counselor Rist?
The next supplemental appropriation is to catch up on snow removal. Although we didn't have a lot of snow this year, we don't budget a lot of money there because we can add it at the end of the year. And we're doing so now, $94,400 from free cash to cover the DPW snow removal budget for FY21 to make that whole. Again, it's a regular action we take every year. If you have questions, I noticed that Greg Nubelman is here from the DPW. He's happy to answer them, but this is a typical appropriation. And the Finance Committee approved it 3-0.
Anyone from the council who has any questions on this appropriation? Is there anyone from the public who has questions about this appropriation? Okay, I'll take a motion to approve.
I move that the full city council approve the following appropriation. The amount is $94,400 to be appropriated from free cash, $94,400 to be transferred to the snow account, $94,400. The amount requested for the following purpose. This funding will cover a shortfall in the DPW snow removal budget for FY 2021.
Second.
Motion is second for the snow removal appropriation. Any further discussion? Barbara?
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood.
Aye.
Motion passes. And the third one, Counselor Rist?
Yes, $63,000 from cannabis stabilization to cover deficits in the fire department budget. Now, there's been some question as to whether this $30,000 for full-time supervisory for the deputy fire chief is adding a new position. It is, or refunding that position. It is not. But before I mess it up, I'm going to ask Chief Norris to explain the deputy chief request. You're muted, Chris. There you go.
Yeah, good evening, everyone, and thank you. That $30,000 of funding for the deputy chief position, when the budget was constructed for the current fiscal year, there was no funding for the deputy chief position. And that position was actually filled from July 1st through December 26th. So during that time frame, the city paid out $49,491. We purposely did not ask for this transfer back in January to strategically try to save some of that money through other savings. So that's why we're not asking for the full $49,000 that was actually spent. We were able to provide some of that savings by not hiring some of the firefighters that vacated some of their positions during that same time frame. So in order to fill that gap of the deputy position, that's where that $30,000 request is coming from.
So in other words, the deputy chief left in December and we didn't fund it in the budget. And you were hoping to cover it with other funds, but you couldn't fund it all. So this 30,000 is covering that deficit that occurred because we had someone in the position until December.
That is correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So we're not adding a new position. We're covering money that we thought we might catch up with in other ways.
That is correct.
Any other questions from the council? The other amount is maintenance, which is typical, catching up on maintenance for the year.
Any comments from the council? Any comments from the public? Okay, I'll take a motion.
I move that the full city council approve the following appropriation. The amount requested is $63,000 to be transferred from cannabis stabilization account, $63,000 to be transferred to the fire full-time supervisory account, $30,000, the vehicle repair and maintenance account, $33,000, for the following purpose: to fund above requested line items for the deputy fire chief position from July 1st, 2020 through December 26, 2020, and fund the repairs to ladder 1 for a new hydraulic swivel hoses and all new wear pads for alignment.
Second.
Motion second for a supplemental appropriation for the fire department. Any further conversation?
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez.
Aye.
Motion passes. And now we are moving on to the budget. Counselor Rist, did you want to say anything first?
Well, as I understand it, and the mayor can explain this if necessary, but the budget numbers for debt and interest and enterprise have been in flux. As a result, the auditor, the treasurer, and the finance team and the mayor are requesting that we continue the public hearing on the budget this evening. Those of the public that have come to speak to the budget may do so this evening, but know that on June 16th, we will have the official public hearing where we will go through section by section and approve all elements of the budget. On June 15th, not the 14th, the 15th, we will hold a finance committee meeting to cover so that Hadel, our auditor, and Jen and the mayor can explain these changes. And at that time, the finance committee will recommend those changes as well. So we will continue the budget hearing this evening. We will not discuss it. So we will do that on June 16th. However, I'll let the president decide how to handle any public comment at this time.
Yeah. So I want to just be clear about, the public has the opportunity tonight to make whatever comments that you wanted to make relative to the budget. It's not, and neither this public hearing or the next one will be it's not really a running dialogue between the public and the council. It's more just if you have some comments and you have some thoughts around the budget, please share those with us. And you can do that this evening, or you can do it on the 16th. But I think, Carolyn, you said something about, I have a lot of questions, and I just want to be clear that you can ask your questions and we won't be necessarily responding right then, although one of the department heads may have something they want to say, but the way this is, it's not necessarily a back and forth. So, but you certainly, the public can have any comments they would like to make right now relative to the budget as it is on the website. And I will, unless, Mayor, do you want to say anything first around why we're continuing the hearing, or are you comfortable with the explanation?
No, thank you for the explanation. It makes complete sense. I would just note that by charter and MGL, my budget must address expense. We in Easthampton like to detail out projected revenue, which fluctuates. So for us to be able to get debt and interest and snow and ice, those figures buttoned up, really helps us going forward to keeping very tidy books and helps our year end in next year. So I thank you very much for the opportunity to do that. I know our new auditor has been working very hard. This is her first audit. She's doing exceptional And to give she and the treasurer and I just a breath to triple check, I appreciate it very much.
Also, just again, I want to let the public know, the budget and all of the sections in the budget are largely set. There's just a couple of sections that, including enterprise, where there are some final numbers they want to put in, but if anyone is really has gone through this budget process before, you will know that there are a lot of sections that are implicated by the enterprise number. And so when we make a motion to approve, we have to include the enterprise number in our motion. And because that still needs to be shored up a little bit, there was no point in going section by section and voting on them. Although in a very true sense, we probably technically could, because they're not going to change. But we just felt it would be prudent to do the entire budget when it is all together with all the correct numbers. And we can do that in 2 weeks when we set a special meeting. And I'll just go further to say that special meeting that we have set on the 16th will only be a public hearing. It will not include like public speak beforehand. It won't include committee reports. It will only be a public hearing. So that will be coming up on the 16th, and you'll get more information about that. So having said that, I see a couple of hands raised. So go ahead, Carolyn, if you would like to make a comment.
Sure. Carolyn Cushing, Main Street, Ward 4. And what I said earlier, I did not have questions. I did not anticipate a dialogue back and forth. I was just knowing that people were uncertain when to speak on which topic. So
thank you.
And my comments on the budget process, which I've been observing, are less specific to line items. And by the time it arrives to the city council, it is fairly set. I understand you can only cut, you can't add things. So it's the very end of the process. So I'm observing and kind of preparing to watch this coming year and see what might happen. You know, it was the budget book was, it would have been helpful to have some graphs to really see revenue connected to expenses. So those are some things I could check in with the mayor about, I'm sure. But the thing that I'm flagging as like, this is the way we seem to be operating, which doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And some questions that I have, not questions to be answered, but like, is this the best way to be doing things? Was around particularly this idea of incentives and overtime that are particularly part of the public safety budget. And it seems like, you know, there's the budget, and then there are always these supplemental, like the ones that you approved tonight, and like, you know, things like snow, you can't really anticipate. But it seemed in listening to the chiefs, Chief Norris, Chief Alberti, that some of the things around incentive and overtime could be better projected or could be in the budget more aligned with actuals. And in particular, and I'm going to look at my notes here, I thought this was interesting. So Chief Alberti said they were cutting the budget by 3%. They had been mandated to cut it by 2.5. They were cutting it by 3%. But then that cut, Councillor Gomez asked about the incentives were down to 219, where it had been 300,000 in the past. You know, will you have to come back for this, like in the middle of the year or the end of the year? And Chief Alberti said yes. And he said, this is what I wrote down from his notes, the 3% cut came from this line. And if this line, the standard operating procedure that we have is that, you know, public safety in particular, DPW2, comes and receives the supplemental appropriations, and it's not really a cut. And are other departments really having to make a cut? They don't get as many of the supplemental requests that come through. So it seems like we're constructing a budget that isn't that realistic. And this is more common on the process. I know the city council can't up it. I'm just observing the process and trying to look throughout this year to understand more of how we construct our budget. So I think that is it. Thank you for listening and thank you for going over in detail those very many numbers. I went to a number of meetings. That's a lot of numbers. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Carolyn. Shelby,
Hi, just some comments about the budget. I wrote them down because I am bad at public speak. First of all, this year it's actually called a book. It's 221 pages. I really like the thoughtful graphics and organizational charts. However, I think that those might be better suited on their own individual department documents because it makes the budget a little hard to navigate. Comparing this budget to budgets from other years, there's also been an informational column loss. There was previously a column that showed the total percent increase or decrease for line items. It was very beneficial to understanding the trends in the budget and in the interest of transparency and comprehensibility for the majority of the community. Returning that column to future budgets would be good. Lastly, a budget's a statement about our community values. And in this budget, there are a lot of things that strike me as odd priorities on the tail of the pandemic that don't reflect all the values of the community equally. For example, the library is seemingly woefully underfunded as well as some others, but the police department is looking to add 2 new 2021 hybrid cruisers to a large fleet they already have and purchase tasers for every individual officer instead of just having a significant number to cover those officers on duty. Thanks.
thank you. Anyone else? Anybody see any hands raised? I do not.
I do not, Madam President.
Okay.
I just want to make a comment. It's important to note that a lot of what our budget process deals with, we have a great many unions in our city, and those negotiations and contracts, including incentives, must be followed by law. So a great deal of what we do is to fund what we can fund. But supplemental appropriations, when they occur later on in the year, that's the mayor's choice whether to make those particular items that were cut at the beginning of the year whole again. The mayor does this, in my view, in order to try to hedge against revenue shortfalls that may occur. If we do gain funds through free cash or other means, she does bring to us supplementals in which we will try to make those budgets whole, like we did tonight for the deputy chief and the maintenance account for the fire department. The department heads were tasked with the mandate of cutting 2.5%. Many of them did the best they could. But what I want to compliment the mayor and the department heads about, just to conclude, we have not laid off any personnel. And they're working, all of our employees are working hard to keep the services we provide the city and the taxpayers with whole. So there's no layoffs in this budget, but it is a tight budget because revenues are very unclear. And that's what the pandemic has caused. So just so you know, we do get supplementals every year as we go along. And it's up to the mayor and the council to decide, do we want to fund them at that time? It's not just cut and dry that we fund them. They have to be voted on, they have to be discussed, and the mayor has to decide to bring them forward. So thank you. I just wanted to bring that up because it is a process issue. So if there's no questions from the council, I'll make a motion to continue.
Any questions from the council? Go ahead, Councilor Rist.
I make a motion to continue the budget hearing slated for this evening to be set for June 16th at 6:15.
Second. Second.
Sorry, motion and a second to continue the public hearing to June 16th at 6:15. Any discussion? Barbara?
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Ian Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Hi.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski.
Aye.
Motion passes. The public hearing for the budget will be continued.
Madam
Um,
President, I move the public hearings be closed.
Second.
Motion second to close the public hearings for this evening. Any further discussion? Barbara?
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Hi.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
Kaczynski,
Aye.
John Peak.
Aye.
Motion passes. Public hearing is now closed. We will continue on with the agenda. Where we stopped was Mayor Communications, Mayor LaChapelle. If you're still there. Okay, I don't. Mayor, are you there? Okay, she may have stepped away. We can come back to her if she returns. So we can move on to committee reports. Finance, Councilor Rist.
Thank you, Madam President. So I'm hoping Councilor Gomez is okay with the meeting on June 15th. We're accommodating Councilor Coniff's vacation, which was pre-planned. It's not her fault that we decided to have a June 16th meeting. So is June 15th okay? Omar, you have your finger raised. At that time, we'll deal with the new business we have today. Plus, we will discuss the budget changes and approve them as needed on at that meeting. I will now make a motion on the new business we have. Let me get to it. I
Sorry,
apologize.
hello?
I wasn't.
1 second, Mayor. We're going to finish with finance and then we will resume. We'll come back to you. Okay? Is that all right, Mayor?
Yes, that would, I
Okay.
can, my call is, I had an emergency call. If you'd like me to do mayor comms now, I can.
As
Oh,
soon
I
as
can see.
Councilor
Let her
Rist
do it.
finishes, we'll defer to you, Mayor. As soon as he completes his,
Oh, okay. You want me to continue?
Got it.
yeah.
Oh my God, I can't find them.
Okay, if you would, okay. All right, Mayor, you're back up.
Let her do it because I have to find these. I
Hi.
apologize.
Sorry,
Okay.
Mayor. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I have a couple of things. One, I'm offering an amendment today during Mayor's Mayor's Communications to address the amounts in the budget so it can be fully explained in the Finance Committee by our auditor. And that was sent to you today. The also I sent to the council, I'm sorry, to the president and also city clerk with a request for a assignment to committee, our energy efficiency. It's mortifying. Okay. So energy efficiency study and audit for air quality, but also energy savings and solar. I'm not sure at your leisure what committee it should be referred to, but I'm looking for a date so we can get our team from Honeywell as well as our internal team to present that to council. I will be coming back once we get our grant award from ARPA around a way to pay for it. But it's very detailed and I'd like to get it into the public sooner rather than later.
So are you asking, Mayor, is there some city council action as a result of this air quality review? I'm looking at it now, or for the comprehensive energy management services from Honeywell.
I think that, yeah, action is I would like it reviewed by a committee for substance. And then I will come back to finance for a finance structure for the plan, depending on what the final answers are. Greg Nuttleman from DPW, myself, are working on the plan and narrowing it down. We just presented the plan to the Board of Public Works for their comment. So just looking for comment, so this massive technical report doesn't come to council and to the public with a request just for finance.
I'm going to defer to the city clerk. I have a question, Barbara. Can we move this to a committee since it was not part of the original packet, or do we have to do notice first and then move it to a committee?
Well, I have to say, I don't know. I haven't seen this at all. Did it?
You just got it.
Did I just get it? Oh,
Yeah.
Is it, Madam, if I might, Madam President, Mayor, is a 2-week delay in sending this, no, we're not having a committee meeting. We may have to do this in July because it has to be on the agenda before it can be moved to committee.
Whatever the council's, I'm sorry, whatever the council's pleasure is on this.
Okay.
I just want to start the process.
So likely what will happen, Mayor, is we'll include this in the June 16th packet and we'll give notice. No, why no? Dan, I
Because
saw your head.
we're not doing committee reports, you said, so.
We're not doing a committee report. We're just moving it to a committee.
All right. It's
Just
up to
from
you.
a
Madam
process
President, it's your choice.
Yeah, just from a process perspective, I mean, we can take that step on the 16th and then have it for the 7/7 if you want to go that route, Mayor. Worst case scenario, we'd have to wait until August because we only have one meeting in July.
That works. I again just wanted to get the information out. We'll start posting it on the website. And just so I'm clear, what was emailed today will be included in for the next meeting, June 16th. At June 16th, it will be referred to a committee for full review at the committee level.
Correct.
Thank you.
Okay. And just for everyone's edification, the mayor does get to break through the rule of the agenda. So this is an exception and we're going to get this pushed through. So thank you, Mayor.
I appreciate it. We're trying to line up some of the ARPA money sooner rather than later. And also I wanted to bring attention as on the agenda, just for information, that I did sign the authorization allowing remote participation. There is on all sides of city government a lot of questions about how this will actually roll out. And I know President Coniff has already started to figure out how we can do all of the above and make sure that people also have access to come in person. In-person meetings in City Hall will start after July 1st. And I know that there are a couple of policies and guidelines we're working on so the public knows what exactly is happening. I would also, and then the last thing I have, it's Councilor Kwasinski. It's very nice to see your face on the screen. Welcome back. You've been missed.
Thank you, Mayor. I completely forgot to do that earlier. Sorry, JP. It is great to have you back.
Well, let me just say it's great to be back. Thank you very much, Mayor, for bringing the subject up. Always good to be here.
You look awesome. You look great.
Thank you. I feel great.
That's what we want to hear. Okay. Thank you. Is that it, Mayor?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you. Councilor Rist, have you found the?
Yes, I have. I would like to make well, I will read all of these as first reading and then I will send them to committee and to public hearing. We have before us an interdepartmental transfer of $48,205.35 to be transferred from the PEG PEG access account, $48,205.35, to be transferred to the PEG access account, $48,205.35, for the following purpose: to give approval to spend from the PEG access receipts reserved account for cable-related purposes consistent with the franchise agreement. The next item is a supplemental appropriation for expenses for undoing racism workshops through the People's Institute. The amount requested is $27,000 to be transferred from cannabis stabilization, $27,000, To be transferred to Mayor Education and Training, $27,000. The amount requested will be used for the following purpose: to cover the cost of a mandatory undoing racism workshops for the staff at City Hall.
Second.
No, I didn't make a motion yet.
Sorry.
Last one is a supplemental appropriation. The amount requested is $60,000 to be transferred from enterprise retained earnings, $60,000 to be transferred to the fiscal year 21 Nonotuck Well pump account, $60,000 for this following purpose. The Nonotuck Well is a source of supply for the Easthampton water system. A 2019 inspection of the Nonotuck Well pump motor noted increased vibration and recommended the electric motor be removed and overhauled. During the overhaul process, multiple issues with the pump were discovered, which have led to an increase in the cost of this project. I make a motion to send the three aforementioned appropriations and items to the Finance Committee for review, and in the same motion, set a public hearing for those items for June 16th.
Second to both the public hearings and to the three motions.
Motion second to move the three appropriations and the interdepartmental transfer to the Finance Committee and to set a public hearing for 6/16. Wow, 6/16 is going to be very busy. Okay, any comments? Barbara.
Lindsay Rothschild,
My mouse is sticking. Yes.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Yes.
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rust.
Aye.
Motion passes.
That concludes, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Riss. Public Safety, Councilor Gomez.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I just want to apologize for being late. At least we win. That was good. So we met yesterday, and yesterday basically we touched recommendation 4, 5, and 6. We have really good input from the community and from the Major Splash group. Nicole Hendry was there explaining the last 3 recommendations. I have to say thanks for the group, thanks for the community to participating in this process, and thank you for the police department for being there and be part of this process. We discussed those 3 recommendations. Now the process is that we're going to have another meeting. The plans is we're planning to invite the state rep and the state senator to talk a little bit about the new reforms, the police reforms, and how we can compare that reform with the recommendation that the group sent to the mayor. And then the committee is gonna make a report. And that's it, that concludes.
Councilor.
Our next, I'm
Gomez,
sorry.
The date for the next meeting.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna say now. So the next meeting is gonna be July 6th at 7 p.m. We're gonna schedule that through Zoom, but we're hoping that we're gonna have that meeting at the 50 Payson.
Thank you. Appointments, Councilor Rothschild.
Hello, we met, 2 of us met, and we got to meet Daniel Hartman, who is the mayoral appointment to the planning board. He's a 7-year resident of Easthampton. He's a licensed professional engineer with a master's degree in traffic and transportation engineering. So very specific to planning. He's a young professional in his 30s, and he feels he can provide a voice, insight, and representation for the next generation, which is important when considering growth and steering. Just a fun fact, he won an award about best dissertation on traffic and planning. I don't have the exact one, but he had a lot of awards and he was very enthusiastic about Easthampton and participating. So I would move to confirm the following mayoral appointment to the Appointments Committee: Daniel Hartman to the Planning Board with a term expiration 12/31/2022.
Second.
Motion second to approve Daniel Hartman to the Planning Board. Any discussion? Barbara?
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild.
Hi.
Motion passes.
Congratulations, Daniel. Okay. I would also move the following two mayoral appointments to the Appointments Committee, and that would be Elizabeth Risk to the Board of Health with the term expiration 12/31/2023, and Brad Riley to the Easthampton Housing Authority with a term expiration ending 12/31/2022.
Second.
Motion is second to move two mayoral appointments to the Appointment Committee. Any further discussion? Barbara?
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
I will have to abstain because yes, she is my daughter.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
and Owen Jarrett.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Great. Our next meeting is going to be Wednesday, June 8th at 3 p.m. It's been really exciting. I just want to say that like pretty much all our last meetings since we've been inviting people and proactively explaining the process of the Appointments Committee have shown up to our meetings and given us an opportunity to talk with them and meet them. So that's been a really, really fun thing that's been happening. So even if we have to meet in person, I'm excited to keep inviting the appointees to our Zoom with us if they can't show up in person. Our next meeting, I already told you, so this concludes.
Thank you, Councilor Rothschild. Ordinance, Councilor Derby.
Thank you, Madam President. Ordinance Committee did meet last Tuesday, and we discussed the storm water management ordinance. And this is one that I think that we'll need to discuss because when we got this, it had a deadline of June 30th on it. And it seemed like that deadline's a real deadline. However, it seemed like there was some flexibility as long as we were kind of working towards it, that there, it didn't seem like we would be penalized too much, but we did approve it 3-0. And I was planning on trying to set the public hearing for that, but it seems like the June 16th meeting is pretty jam-packed. So I guess maybe a little, some thoughts here. And I suppose we could also ask Greg Nettleman what he thinks about that deadline going past, to the July meeting for this issue. And I think that we could potentially look at moving a couple of our other public hearings to that July date as well. So I just wanted to put that out there and see what the president thought.
Greg, do you think that June 30th for this particular item is a hard date?
It's not necessarily a hard date. However, the language that we did have to change in our stormwater ordinance is EPA mandated language that needs to be in our stormwater ordinance for compliance with our MS4 permit. So there's not a lot, we don't have a lot of wiggle room with what the language is and can be. However, I'm respectful of the agenda filling up for the 16th, but if there's not a lot of leeway in what can be discussed or changed in it.
Right. All right.
Madam President?
Yes.
I just want to say if the language is set, Greg, if I understand it right, the July 7th approval by the council is still okay. If I understand you correctly, the ordinance committee approved the language. Am I correct, Salem and Greg?
Yes.
July 7th won't necessarily hurt anything unless the language wants to be changed by someone.
Yes.
Well, let's hope not.
That would be a better date if all of those chips do fall the right way and the wording has been approved, then you have met that deadline. And now it's the city can, unless there's something, because I don't really understand, unless there's something written in there that the city council has to approve it by 6:30. And I didn't hear that, but maybe it is.
We're working it through. I mean, it's totally fine. That would be fine for the 7th.
Okay. So why don't you set it, Councilor Derby, for 7/7?
Okay, so I'd like to move to amend City Ordinances Chapter 12, Article 7, Stormwater Management, for a public hearing on July 7th at 6:15.
Second.
Motion second to set a public hearing for the stormwater issue for July 7th at 6:15. Any further discussion? Barbara?
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff.
Aye. Motion passes. I was the last one, wasn't I, Barb?
Okay, and all the other items on our agenda are set for a public hearing on the 15th. So
16th.
16th, sorry. So I don't know if you want us to since we've changed the budget, if you want me to, or if we're just going to keep those on and I'll just continue them at the hearing.
I think, I think given that those actually could make some traction this summer in terms of people starting to take out permits and commence with construction, that I think I'd like to keep those on June 16th unless someone has an objection. Councilor Rist?
I just wanted to ask about number one, the language for those two housing amendments. Can we get a final language that doesn't include red lines? I may have missed it. Was that sent out?
Dan, Jeff said that he would have that for the next meeting.
For the public hearing?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I was just kind of
In
hoping we
advance.
could get it before the next meeting.
Yeah.
And secondly, I would like to ask if the cannabis delivery ordinance was approved by the city attorney.
Yes, it was.
I would like to request that you postpone that to the 7th, because I don't believe between the 16th and the 7th, there's going to be a big urgency to deliver cannabis. And I'd like to personally feel that they can be delayed. And I'm wondering how you feel about that. Also, I'd like the final language for that as well.
Yeah, so it looks like Jeff has his hand up, so I'll let him speak up.
I forgot he was here.
Go ahead, Jeff.
I mean, what would be potentially useful is to try to keep them all going for the 16th, and then depending on how the meeting goes, maybe others would be continued. But I would say that the cannabis amendment is important for the applicants who are pursuing those licenses. The category is just opened up at the state, and technically they really can't apply until we have the zoning in place to allow them to apply. So there is some, I'm not going to call it urgency, but there's some importance to the timeline for that. The city attorney has reviewed all three, and I can get the clean versions out earlier, but the language will really be the same. I don't know if the council president would consider keeping all three moved to the 16th, and then depending on how that meeting is going, one or more could be continued after that point, potentially.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. What I have a problem with is the length of this meeting and what it could turn into. And I'm fine if you guys are all very understanding of the fact that as we roll through the budget, which will be number one on the agenda, because that is something we have to do. We have to do that. And the other things, to your point, we may have to continue the public hearing for them on July 7th, but just be aware that all the time that we need is going to go to the budget until we exhaust all of that conversation. So, but I don't have a problem if you want to keep it on the 16th, and then we'll play it by ear.
I'm fine with that as well.
Okay.
I think that's fine. And I did notice that there could potentially be some new business for us, and I didn't know if you wanted me to do that now or.
Please.
Okay, so I would like to move the ranked choice voting city ordinance proposal to the ordinance committee.
Weren't there two things that needed to go to ordinance?
Tom, are you bringing that to rules or?
Point of order. Point of
Hang
order.
on 1 second. Hang on. Hey, Dan, Council Rist, 1 second. I'm just reading something and then we'll. Okay. Okay. So, what I had thought that this, the plastics thing would go to ordinance. Is that the one you're referring to?
Well, I saw two ordinance pieces there. I wasn't sure if Tom was going to bring the one that I just mentioned to rules or not, since we changed our kind of committee definitions.
The ranked choice voting one?
Yeah.
Can I make a comment, please? This is the point of order I'm making is that
Councilor.
the ranked choice voting committee was a select committee of the council. It need not go to another committee.
Okay.
They make a report and the council votes on it.
Okay.
Their language is set because it's a select committee of the council. We have justified charter requirements. So you don't have to send it to two committees. That's all. I'm saying.
Okay. And
That's
is
very
that
common
ready?
tonight.
Is that ready, Counselor Peak?
Yes, I was going to get to that when we got to the special.
All right.
Fair enough. So I rescind that, and I would like to move that the amend city ordinance under 6-21 prohibition of single-use plastics be sent to ordinance committee.
Second.
Motion second to send the comprehensive plastic restriction change, I don't know what to call it, to the ordinance committee. Any discussion? Barbara?
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
John Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Wayne Zarrett,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby.
Aye.
All right, motion passes.
And we have not convened to set a meeting, our next meeting, but we will shortly, and we'll post that as soon as we set it.
Okay.
That concludes.
Property, is there anything, Counselor Zarrett, on property? No.
Nothing to report, Madam President.
Rules and government relations, Counselor Peak. You're up, Counselor Peak. I can't wait to hear all of the things that you're going to impart to us.
All the exciting stuff we've done since the last meeting.
Yes.
Just to restate what I said last time, Rules hasn't met a whole lot because the two members of Rules are also on finance and have been meeting constantly and or away. I'm not actually sure we're going to see a change in that between now and the special meeting, but probably sometime in late June, we should be meeting. To that end, I would like to request 30-day extensions on the anti-bias training and the payment in lieu of taxes program while we sort of just get our heads around what we're doing with those. I'll do that in the form of a motion.
Second, 30 days, Tom?
Yes.
You know what? Let's call it 60.
I was going to say 60 be better. I second the motion for 60-day extension.
Motion second for a 60-day extension on anti-bias training and the pilot program. Any discussion? Barbara?
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
John Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Wayne Zarrett,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood.
Aye.
Thanks.
Motion passes.
And then we have two new items that I think need to be going to Rules. One of them is the resolution regarding decriminalization of therapeutic psychedelic plants. And the other one is a proposed amendment to council rules to add council rule 20, remote participation. So can I just make one motion to send those both to Rules?
Yes.
I make that motion.
Second.
Motion second to send the two new items regarding psychedelic plants and now I forgot what it is, remote meeting rules to the Rules Committee. Any further discussion, Barbara?
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
John Peak,
Aye.
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Owen Garrett,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Madam President, I have a question.
Counselor Rist?
The remote participation.
You went on mute, Dan.
The remote participation item, we're governed by the state law. I think you mentioned that after June 15th, we're going to have to meet with at least a quorum, and we will have Zoom capability for committee meetings as well as the city council after July 1. I don't know of the urgency to get that rule done before those meetings commence, and I'm wondering what you, Councilor Coniff, thought, because you've been involved in this. I think we will set rules maybe around what we can set, but I believe the legislation that we've approved governs our process. And I'm just curious because we do have to meet in person, if I understand the rule
Right.
correctly, after the first. Am I
So
correct?
there's some confluence of things happening around remote meetings. So one of them is that the governor may extend the current situation to, I think, August 1st or something like that, which kind of negates all of that other stuff. So that may happen. The part two to this is that Easthampton is going to amend or add on to those rules. And I think, Counselor Peak, that's what this is. It's going to encompass the state rules, and we should get those down in writing just so people know what they are. And then how we are going to allow remote public participation, which is not part of the state law. Counselor Peak, sorry.
Yes, Madam President. That's exactly correct. What I've introduced here really has less to do with how public officials participate remotely, which has been fairly laid out. What Councillor Flood and I did here is really about setting an expectation that that city councilors specifically in our council meetings and in committee meetings make those meetings accessible to members of the public that might not be able to be physically present or might not want to be physically present, which is something that is a little bit different. So that's what that's about. I'd love to get it done somewhere around the point that we're going in person, but like, you know, like I said, there are standing rules about like, it's not like this is the only rules that are being made. I just wanted we, Councillor Flood and I wanted to sort of set up something to sort of set an expectation that in all of our meetings, we should be trying to make this accessible to everyone.
Great, yeah, perfect. And
I only brought it up.
I agree. Go ahead, Councillor Riss.
I only brought it up because I agree with this idea that we need to make sure that all the councilors, and especially chairs of committees, are on the same page with regard to how we're gonna, a hybrid situation where we're gonna be in person and Zoom. So I think that's an important discussion, and whether we need to make that a priority for the Rules Committee prior to July. I don't know if we can do that. I don't know if we have to.
Honestly, I mean, we can meet and talk about it. I don't know that we're going to get anything done before the June 15th when the executive order expires. So we're going to have to punt and figure it out as each committee goes. We will certainly still be using Zoom. So I would like to, Councillor Peak, you know, at best, I don't know. I don't know how the calendar is going to look, but it's either July 7th or we wait until August. So we'll kind of see how things shake out, I guess. Do you have a committee meeting date that you want to set, or is that something that will come later?
I was going to wait until you got back from vacation, just sort of see where we are, but maybe we should touch base.
Okay.
Madam President, if I might also interject, I don't know where I am on your screen. Just a little bit more background is that we are trying to coordinate with the mayor's office and Easthampton Media in order to just assess technology in the committee meeting rooms as well. And I'm not sure that we've reached a consensus on that meeting time yet also. And that may be helpful to the Rules Committee once we've done sort of an overview of what technology is available, what technology might be needed. Because we will also have to assess who's going to run said technology during those meetings. So pushing it off a little further might be helpful in that process.
We'll leave it TBD then, I guess. Thanks, Councillor Flood.
And thus concludes for rules.
Did you want to set a public hearing for the ranked choice voting, or has that already been set?
It hasn't. I'd like to set a public hearing for July 7th. That's our next meeting, right? July 7th at 6:15 for the ranked choice voting ordinance, which has now gone through the whole process and received solicitor review and is ready to go.
Okay.
Second.
Motion second to set a public hearing for the ranked choice voting ordinance. Any further discussion? Barbara?
Tom Peak,
Aye.
Ian Rist,
Yes. Aye.
Child,
Aye.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski.
Aye.
Motion passes. Anything else, Councilor Peak? That's it?
Yeah, this concludes.
Okay. I think we have done all of the committees. Councilor Kwasinski, I know the Senior Tax Work-Off Committee is kind of in a pause right now. And I know that the Council on Aging is moving very rapidly forward with this senior tax work-off. So your thoughts on keeping this committee extended for, it technically expires June 17th, so we would have to re-up it, which we can do now if you'd like.
I guess I would ask for a re-upping of 90 days with the expectation that if everything goes smoothly with the Council on Aging and with the rest of the administrative departments, there likely wouldn't be a role for the council. But there is the question that should there be an interface that between one department and the rest of the city, that the council stand ready to be able to resolve those issues and come up with some policies and kind of take the pressure off having administration in the mayor's office do that. I think we could be helpful in that regard. So I would like to leave it open.
You want to make a motion to
I
do
would move to extend the committee for 90 days.
Second.
Motion is second to extend the senior tax work-off committee for another 90 days. Any further discussion? Barbara?
Dan Rist,
Aye.
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
Tom Peak.
Aye.
Great, motion passes. And we also have ordinance review committee, Councilor Rothschild.
We have not met since the last meeting, so nothing to report.
Okay.
Thank you. That's good.
No meeting is scheduled for the,
Yeah, a meeting is scheduled. It's on June, it's Monday at 6:30, which is,
June 7th.
thank you, June 7th at 6:30.
okay, great, thank you.
We'll be going over chapter 12, and I did send out an email to the appropriate departments, and I think Chief Norris got back to me and said he'd be attending, so we're looking, it's on environmental, chapter 12, environmental hazard.
Great, thank you. We have done all the old business, all the new business. I will enter, if there's nothing else, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Or not, we could stay here all night if you guys want to. Who made a motion? Sorry.
Me.
Councilor Gomez, do we have a second?
Second.
Me, second. Oh.
Motion is second to adjourn. Barbara?
Lindsay Rothschild,
Aye.
Owen Zaret,
Yes.
Peg Coniff,
Aye.
Salem Derby,
Aye.
Erica Flood,
Aye.
Omar Gomez,
Aye.
JP Kaczynski,
Aye.
Tom Peak,
Aye.
and Dan Rist.
Aye.
Great, thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Nice vacation.